Majin Ranger was used in episode 37 was because the little side character or the support character for the Majin Rangers was indeed a plant monster, so it sort of fit with the Monster of the Week motif. Episode 39 was Kaito's birthday episode, and the Sentai gears that were used all had to deal with anniversaries and or birthdays. Gokaiger's gear being used specifically was because Gokaiger had released on Blu-ray and DVD a few days prior to this episode's air date, and their gear allowed them to swap their weaponry around, which is a common trend for Gokaiger. Choryuger was used because they had the theming of Sanba and festivals, and they had multiple episodes dedicated to their overall dancing aesthetic that they were used throughout the show. And of course, for the zenkaiger canon summons, if you don't count Shiken Red, all of these leaders, all these rangers, both red and white, were leaders of their specific squadrons. Fuka being the leader of the Ninja Boys versus Ninja Girls, Hurricane Red being the leader of the Wind Ninja Academy, Takaru being the leader of the sentaigears for the series, and Tsuruhime being the leader of the Kaku Rangers, which is also a callback to the Zenkai Red special. Episode 40 had more or less to deal with the ideas of possession and the fact that a fatherly figure was working for the villains. Keep It Ranger was an example of this, as the main headmaster for the Dai Rangers was actually a general for the Borma tribe and betrayed the Dai Rangers at that point. Much like previous Monsters of the Week, the Sentai gear used this time around had to deal with a certain ranger for this certain episode, this being Yellow Owl, which had the usage of tomatoes in this episode. The reason why was because Yellow Owl was both a farmer and had an entire episode dedicated to him, with him being afraid of giant tomatoes, and it also ruined the overall cooking experience dealt with the new rules for that Monster of the Week. Episode 42's gears had something more or less similar in mind for the Monster of the Week. Pat Rangers being used was because a very similar situation happened in their series. The Ranger summonings of Battle Kenya, Geki Blue, and Kiba Ranger were chosen was because they were all cat-themed, and Don Momotaro's gear was used because this was a sort of a sneak preview for Don Brothers coming in March, and in terms of me doing Sentai Gears Explained episodes on those, we'll have to wait and see.